Greetings! I hope you're doing well and keeping safe wherever the home you're staying in may be. Nick with Sweetwater here, and welcome to Bowcott's Bunker number 3. Yup, it's another one of my low-budget, low-tech phone videos recorded alone in isolation. As you've just seen on the screen, this installment is called Hammett's Terrifying Trilling Workout, and that's exactly what I'm going to teach you today. What is a trill, do I hear you ask? Well, it's merely this, a repeated combination of hammer-ons and pull-offs, just like this. This is a great technique to master as it can add tonal variety to your licks and solos. It's also a very effective way of injecting a flurry of speed, like this. As well as this exercise, I'm also going to show you this very cool trilling lick inspired by the late great Irish guitar player Gary Moore. The reason I know this Kirk Hammett trilling exercise so well is this. I had the extreme good fortune of working with Kirk on his very popular monthly Guitar World column called The Sound and the Fury. We did a whole bunch of them together, and it did so well that they ended up making a book with me and him, and this is what it looks like. Hurrah! One of the many great things Kirk showed me was the brutal trilling exercise I'm about to share with you. It's a great one because it has you using all 4 fingers of your fretboard hand, including the one that a lot of people like to avoid as much as humanly possible. Yep, you've guessed it, the dreaded pinky. This exercise is done with your fretboard hand, in my case my right hand because I'm a lefty, in what's known as the 5th position. And all that means, my friend, is simply this. Your first finger or your index finger or your pointer finger, whatever you want to call it, covers all notes at fret 5 on all 6 strings. Then your second finger or middle finger, this bad boy here, plays all the notes at fret 6 on all 6 strings. Then you've guessed it, your ring finger or third finger plays every single note at the 7th fret on all 6 strings. And last, certainly not least, and not to be avoided at any cost whatsoever during this exercise, your pinky, the little boy of the bunch, this one here, deals with every single note at the 8th fret on all 6 strings. Got it? Like this. First finger or index finger, all notes at the 5th fret on each string. Middle finger, all notes at fret 6. Ring finger or finger number 3, all notes at fret 7. And last but certainly not least, and not to be avoided at any cost, the pinky, all notes at fret 8. This exercise begins with your first finger at the 5th fret on the high E string. You pick that note, then do a hammer on with your second finger to the 6th fret, then pull that finger off back to the note at the 5th fret again, then hammer back to 6. Just like this. Pick, hammer, pull, hammer. One more time. Pick, hammer, pull, hammer. I then move this exact same 4-note pattern over to the B string. Pick, hammer, pull, hammer. Then the exact same thing, but this time on the G string. Then the D string. Then the A string. Then the low E. Then, when I reach the low E string, I turn around and do the exact same thing on each string again, all the way back up to the high E string. Got it? Just in case you don't, here's me doing it slowly. Then, when you get back to where you started, you do the exact same thing again, the hammer-on pull-off combination, except this time with these 2 fingers, your first and your third, and you do it on all 6 strings from high E to low E, then back again. Just like this. Now I'm sure you've guessed what's next, right? Yep, the moment we all dread. The exact same drill, except this time between your first finger and your pinky, dun dun dun. And don't cheat, work that pinky out, it'll be worth it in the long run, I promise you. this is what it looks and sounds like, allegedly. To recap, this is what we've done thus far, played as one. Now that's a pretty cool warm-up and stamina building exercise right there, as is. But wait, we're not done. Now it's time to use your middle finger as a pivot point. So next we're going to do the exact same trilling pattern, except this time between your middle and third fingers. These two here, just like this. Next up is where the exercise starts to get really brutal, because this time we can do the same pattern again, but between the middle and little fingers. Brace yourself, this one ain't easy. Once again, middle and index fingers are your two trillers. Here goes. Whew. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. Now let's put together what we've done so far in one continuous flow, shall we? And believe it or not, the total number of notes we've played so far is 220. Yep, I repeat, 220 notes made up of 55 4-note trills. Wow! And in doing so, we haven't moved our fretboard hand up or down the fretboard at all. We've stayed in the 5th position all the time. Here are said 220 notes played slowly together in order. That's a pretty effective workout, isn't it? I can definitely feel all of those 220 notes in the back of my fretboard hand. Now at this point, I'm going to take a well-earned break for a cup of Valhalla Java because there's more to come. Stay tuned. Valhalla Java, nectar of the Norse gods. Coffee break's over, my friend. Are you ready for what's coming next? If I were you, I'd brace yourself, because this could well be the proverbial straw that breaks the camel's back. Believe it or not, we've still got 11 more trills and 44 notes to go, and this time they're between these two fingers, the index and the pinky. This is the pending torture, played slowly. Yeah, I can feel that one. Now don't fret, bad pun intended, if it takes you a while to build up both the strength and stamina to be able to play those last 44 notes all the way through. Remember, this isn't a race and this isn't easy. Start slowly, keep working on it, and your efforts will pay off, I promise. As the saying goes, no pain, no gain. Right? That said, here's the whole enchilada, all 264 notes played slowly. And I'm going to do it to a click track to make sure I don't speed up or slow down. Well, hopefully. Here goes. And now here's the whole thing a little bit faster. If I were you, I'd build up speed slowly, and please don't make the dreaded mistake of setting your metronome too fast, because you can play the first, easier section of this exercise pretty quickly. Instead, pace yourself. It's not about how fast you can start, it's all about setting a pace you can maintain. And remember, this is not a race. Right, to finish off, as promised, here's that Gary Moore influence run. Now, after the grueling workout you've just done, you'll be delighted to know that this cool E minor trill run only uses your first two fingers, these bad boys here. We're going to break it down into 3 sections. Here's section number 1. And a little slower. Section 2 consists of the exact same notes as section 1, except an octave lower. So this time we play them on the G, D and A strings instead of the high E, B and G like we did in section 1. Here's section 2. And a little slower. So this is section 1. And then section 2, the same thing, just an octave lower. And finally, section 3, the exact same thing again, just another octave lower. And it finishes with an open E5 power chord, which is just the open low E string played with the 2nd fret on the A string, together as one. Hurrah! Here it is. So the same trill, an octave lower again. And then the E5 chord. Open E string, 2nd fret on the A string played together. And here are all 3 sections played together, slowly first and then a little faster. And a little faster. And by the way, if you're wondering what scale this run uses, it's actually a hybrid, which simply means 2 scales combined to be 1. The 2 scales combined here are the E harmonic minor scale and the E minor blues scale. And here's how it goes. The E harmonic minor scale contains 7 notes, and it goes E, F sharp, G, A, B, C and D sharp, then ends on E an octave higher, like this. Very classical sounding, and dare I say it, very Yngwie sounding. The good old E minor blues scale contains 6 notes, and it goes E, G, A, B flat, B and D, then back to E. Just like this. Combine them both and you get this 9-note hybrid. E, F sharp, G, A, B flat, B, C, D and D sharp, then back to E. Just like this. One more time, the hybrid. So now you've learnt that 7 plus 6 actually equals 9. Here's that Gary Moore influence run one more time. And so ends Bowcott's Bunker number 3. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. Keep washing those hands, practice social distancing, and practice your guitar, and most importantly of all, stay safe. Until next time, be well. See ya!